week in something a little bit more obtainable. A small sports car with a small engine. So we're in a BMW Z4 S Drive 30i. So we're talking a 2-litre turbocharged engine producing 255 horsepower and not £1 million. So this car is 40 grand plus. You can obviously put some spec options on this car, like with any of the German manufacturers, to make them a lot more expensive. But this one, in this guise, I think it's about the £45,000 mark in the San Francisco red that it's in, with the M Sport pack and the technology pack that gives you a lovely heads-up display and a load of other little trinkets in the car, which is an absolute must-have option. You get the Harman Kardon hi-fi. I'm really interested in this car just for the pure reason that I have actually owned two of the previous generation, or one, should I say the first generation of the Z4. I had a 2.5 litre straight six one, and then I had a 3.2 litre Z4M. And now the Z4M was inherently flawed, but it had an amazing engine in it. That 3.2 litre M3 CSL engine that was in that car was an absolute honey. So what we've got here is the sort of mid-range of the Z4 at the moment. So you can obviously have the slightly smaller, less powerful one, which is the one that's just under 200 horsepower. You can then go all the way up to the one that is the 40i, which is basically like a mini M car. This one, being the middle of the range, is the one that apparently will do 39 miles to the gallon. I can believe it because I've actually used this a lot over the last week, and it's been, as a daily driver, I have to say I'm very impressed with it. We'll get to the things that I'm not so impressed with in a minute, but the things I am impressed with is I think it looks fantastic. I think this car is such a pretty car, and the fact that it was designed in conjunction with the Supra, which I think is an exceptionally good looking car as well. I actually think the Supra is a better looking car than the Z4, but the Supra hasn't got the badge snobbery, has it? People will go to the BMW badge. The interior is another thing I'm extremely impressed with in this car. The materials are absolutely lovely in here. It feels no less premium than a range-topping 8 Series. The leathers, everything's soft touch. On the dashboards, all soft touch. All the stitching is amazing. It looks a little bit off up here, but other than that, it is absolutely spot on. The only thing in the interior that is irritating is that there isn't much storage in here. Yes, there's storage here for you to put some stuff, a COVID mask or something like that. But you've also got two cup holders here, which when you shut one of them, it's still really annoying. You whack your elbow on them, but you know they are there. You can't fit anything in the door bins. They're literally just there sort of as an afterthought, which is very, very irritating when you want to put a bottle in there or something like that. I just use it for my rubbish when I eat a sandwich or something. I just whack that in there. Other than that, everything in here, the infotainment system, spot on. Completely and utterly easy to use, and they've really thought it through. It's all touchscreen and it can all be done off the steering wheel. It's, you know, it's a typical BMW iDrive system that works like an absolute dream. We're on a lovely twisty bit of road at the moment, and to me, the chassis in this car feels absolutely brilliant. I'm way more impressed with it than I thought I would be. The steering is a little bit vague, but is not bad. I don't want to say it's bad, but it can feel a little bit vague. It's not as good as a Cayman or a Boxster steering. It's as simple as that. But a Cayman or Boxster steering has superb steering. The rack to me can feel a little bit, not quick, but it can just feel a bit sort of like you have to take 2 bites at a corner. So because you don't know where the front end's been put, although the front end has an enormous amount of grip, you sort of go like that and then you go again for a second sort of bite at the corner to make sure that you get the right line. Being rear wheel driven, it is fun, it's playful. I've really enjoyed this. I think in the different modes that it's got, you've got the Sport, Comfort, Eco Pro, Adaptive. They don't change an enormous amount. The engine doesn't get particularly exciting. It is a good, efficient engine. It is not an exhilarating, exciting engine. It's This car will do 0 to 60 in 5.4 seconds, which is plenty quick enough for UK roads. And once you're up it and going quickly, you can genuinely drive it quickly, and it is really enjoyable. It puts a smile on your face because you've got the roof off, the sun's shining, not that it is right now, but when you have the roof off and the sun is shining and you're sort of wafting down a lovely A road or B road, it is a really enjoyable car to live with, and it is genuinely usable on a daily basis. The seats in here are fantastic. These M Sport seats are lovely. I really like them. They have, you know, they're just super comfortable, and they're really supportive. You can change the bolsters, so if you're a slightly fatter man, you can change it so they're a bit more splayed open, and if you're as skinny as a rake, you can bring it right in, and they really hug your midriff. They're brilliant. The touch points in here that, you know, I like to blab on about. The paddles are pretty naff. The gearbox, the 8-speed ZF gearbox, is as good as any other 8-speed ZF gearbox. We all know about the 8-speed ZF now. It's a really good gearbox. Even all the M products these days are all 8-speed ZF gearboxes. They don't go wrong. They are, you know, they do exactly what they say on the tin, and it works really well with most of the engines. If you want something that's going to be plenty quick enough, but relatively quick, we're not talking blistering, it's not eye-wateringly fast, and is going to be usable on a daily basis because it's not going to attack your wallet every time you go near the throttle pedal, this is a lovely option. Because it's slightly cheaper than the Cayman and the Boxster, I think if you're on a stretched budget, you can get a load of toys in this, a load of infotainment toys, a load of other bits and bobs, and it is a very pretty car. I think it looks exceptional with the canvas roof as well now. They've ditched the old metal folding roof from the last Z4, and they've gone with the canvas roof. I did 150 miles the other day on the motorway, not a problem at all. There is no wind noise. They are so good now, these canvas roofs, and it's saved an enormous amount of weight in the car, which weight is always a bad thing and always ruins handling, ruins everything. Everything about this is a really nice car. It's not massively exciting. An exhaust that makes it pop and bang and crackle would be all that would be needed to sort this out, genuinely, all that was needed. Because other than that, it's got not many foibles. The ride, it's a sports car. Let's be honest, it's a sports car. The ride is firm, but it's not bone-shakingly firm. But this, as a direct rival to an SLC or to an Audi TT or something like that, or pushing into the Boxster side of things, it's a genuinely viable option for someone that's looking for a two-seater sports car that has a big enough boot to go down to, you know, go on holiday. If you were to jump in this and nip down to the south of France, it's got plenty of room for loads of stuff, loads of storage behind the seats. Well, not loads of storage, some storage behind the seats. Yeah, it's a really nice car to live with, and I've enjoyed it over the week.